Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 30th. I forgot. Let's see what is going on for you at this time. And that'll be that. You have this happy card, which I love. You have the Justice card coming up, which I love. So clearly you're showing up in a really strong position here. This is the Wheel of the Year Tarot, by the way, if you're wondering what deck this is, but I haven't used it in a long time, and I don't know, I felt guided to use it for one sign, and now I feel like using it for everybody. So you have this happy card. I love this card. She's like channeling happiness. You can see that there's that like rainbow light going into her head on this card. So for a lot of you, it's almost like you're choosing to be happy, but it's kind of like both. I feel like two things here, multiple things, really. I feel like you're choosing to be happy, but I also feel like there are external things that are causing you to be happy, and I also feel that you're working on something. You can see she's sitting on this gigantic egg here, and I always look at the eggs in this deck as kind of like something that you're gestating, something that you're waiting for, something that you're creating, like a new beginning, which we see in this first row. You have the Justice card, the Six of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. Clearly, you are moving towards a new beginning. You are moving towards something inspirational, something expansive, and something new. I always say that on a traditional Ace of Wands, there's like a castle in the background, and it's crumbling. It's like falling apart. And it's meant to represent like in with the new, out with the old. It's like you're letting go of old stuff. You're shedding your skin maybe. You're letting go of things, and you're following your inspiration. Even the Six of Swords, the Six of Swords is a total sacrifice. Normally, there's a woman and a child in the boat on the Six of Swords, and they only have the clothes on their back. The card is meant to represent a significant change. It's not like some tiny little transition, right? Like she is sacrificing her whole entire life for the hopes of a better future, a better and brighter future. And, so to me, the Six of Swords is a very powerful card because, again, usually you're leaving a lot behind so that you can move towards something better. And look at this. You show up as a Justice card. I love the Justice card in this deck. It's like winter to spring or winter to summer, whatever you want to call it here on this deck. And so it's like you're going or heading towards improvements in this reading. And I just love this Justice card. I feel like you're, again, choosing to be happy with that happy card. The thing is also with the Justice card, as you know, Libra, it's like when you put things on the right side of the scale, it tilts in your favor. So it's like, one of those things where I feel like you're creating a positive snowball here, where it's like the happier you are, the more reasons you attract to be happy, and then you become happier, and because of that, you become even happier. It's like one of those things. And you're like the second sign, I'm pretty sure, that has had a message like that this week. So clearly there's like a turnaround, or this could just be improvements that are happening for a lot of people. Next, you have, if I can get it, you have this main male card. And I just feel like this is you. Again, there's a main male and a main female or whatever card in this deck. And whenever I get this card, to me, it's just you showing up in the reading. And it doesn't matter which gender you are. And you have the community card. A lot of people getting the community card this week and lately. The community card is obviously about community. You do have the Queen of Swords here. Queen of Swords can be a little bit closed off. She can need, and same with the High Priestess as well, which you have here. I'm going to show you in a minute. Both cards are a little bit more behind the scenes, especially the High Priestess. It's like behind the curtain, And so I feel for a lot of you that it's time to kind of like reveal something here or let something out. You have the High Priestess, the Queen of Swords, and the Five of Cups. Again, the High Priestess, normally she has a curtain or a tapestry behind her. There are pomegranates on that tapestry, and pomegranates are like the fruit of the underworld. They represent death, basically. And they also represent abundance and other things as well. But again, they're meant to represent the fruit of the underworld on the High Priestess. It's definitely popping into my head because, again, there's a lot of transition energy here. So again, I feel you're kind of coming out of the underworld. Usually we go into the underworld. It's part of the hero's journey, right? We go into the underworld to discover something like a tool. Usually in the hero's journey, the hero is finding a sword that can conquer the big, monster in his life or conquer the big challenge. And I really get that for you on a very deep level here, Libra. Again, pretty deep reading. I feel like you've been going through kind of like the hero's journey, and now you're coming out of darkness having discovered something. She finally sees things clearly, the Queen of Swords. On a traditional Queen of Swords, I always say she only has clouds halfway up her body kind of represents the fact that she finally can see things clearly. She finally understands like what needs to be done in her life, the direction she needs to go in, all that other good stuff. And that's what I feel like is going on with this Queen of Swords. I feel like you finally understand the direction that you need to go in and the things that you need to do in your life to be more successful, or whatever it is that you want. And finally, you have the Five of Cups. It's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure almost every single sign has had the Five of Cups this week. And again, the Five of Cups can be like disappointment, sadness, regrets, crying over spilt milk, things like that. But again, tying it back to the Six of Swords, it's kind of like, I think when you're making a major transition with like the Six of Swords, where you're maybe letting go of something that you've always known or you've always had in your life, or you're making a big sacrifice, I feel that can be kind of jarring, let's put it that way, because it's like you're ripping the Band-Aid off here. I wouldn't even say that. It's like Six of Swords, sometimes I feel we could be like sacrificing a job for something much better to move forward to something new. And that's what it seems like is going on here. Really, again, I would say you're more in this. You have this Healing Chaos card. And again, I feel like the main part of this reading, this first part of the reading, is just talking about coming out of darkness. Like I said, you've been through the underworld part of your journey at this time, and now you're coming out the other side. You have the Temperance card, the Queen of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. I like this Seven of Cups. It's like she's being lifted up by her imagination. And again, I feel like there's a lot of happiness, a lot of things that are causing you to be happy. And that's what I would move towards here. We have a choice as far as happiness is concerned. We can be happy or not. It's just that simple. There are, and people are always like, no, you can't. You can't choose to be happy, and happiness isn't a choice. I'm like, it absolutely is. There are people in very, very miserable circumstances that choose to be happy, right? And I'm not saying it's like the only thing we need to do, but a lot of times if we choose to be happy, then we can attract better things, better opportunities in our life. I feel like a great way to be happy is to do things for other people, right? So I feel that can be very helpful. It's not the only thing I would do. Again, I think, part of it, I always give a warning on that, because I think people in the spiritual community give too much, right? We have to do everything in balance. We have to make sure we're filling our own cups as well, of course. But, like I said, for the most part, helping other people, doing nice things, creating something, great way to kind of create more happiness. You also have the Queen of Wands. Number one, I feel like you're very attractive at this time. I do have a feeling that the second part of the reading will include more love in it, which we're about to do right now. But I feel like you're very attractive at this time, and I do feel you could be attracting a lot of abundance. But to me, the Queen of Wands is you going from the Queen of Swords to the Queen of Wands energy. In this reading, I feel your energy is changing from this to the Queen of Wands, more willing to take actions on your imaginations and things that you're imagining doing with your life. More open to changing things, right? Temperance isn't like, really, temperance is could be like turning a negative into a positive, for example. And that's what I feel like is going on here, because look at this. It's like duality, kind of duality on the Temperance card. It's like justice, both sides. High Priestess, both sides, right? She is the light and the dark. She is fully integrated being. And then Temperance, two cups, basically. So I feel like you're starting to choose happiness, like I said, or you're taking negative situations and you're learning, hey, I can turn these things around. I'm pretty sure in your last reading, I said squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? And, I'm telling you right now, it's kind of like, I feel the Queen of Wands comes up like crazy for everyone. And I really feel that's a sign of the times, right? I really feel that the universe is like, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to come do anything for you. You have to do it yourself. And your first answer is going to be no. What the hell does that mean? Well, what it means is I feel like we're in a time where if we go ask our boss for a raise, for example, they'll say no. But that's not a no. That is you should be asking, okay, what can I do to get a raise? What you asking questions with the Queen of Wands, being bold, being assertive, really going for something. Same thing with clients, if you have a client-based business, Queen of Wands follow up, doesn't take no for an answer, keeps going. Same thing with starting a YouTube channel. She doesn't just create one video, she creates like 100, and then whatever works is what she does. And a lot of people say that's too much work and all this other stuff. I would say, to those people, I would say, well, then you don't really want it if you're not willing to do the work, right? And which is fine, not a criticism. If that is the answer, then what do you want to do 100 times? What is the thing that you'd be willing to do 100 times without getting a result, right? And I think when you discover what that is, that's when you truly become successful. With the Justice card, you have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, again, I really feel like this is saying don't take no for an answer. So again, whatever you're doing, I feel like with a little bit of work, you'll be successful. And I do feel some of you don't want to do the work. But again, I would say two things. I would say, do you really want to do it, right? Again, not a criticism, but sometimes maybe you just don't want to do it, which is totally fine. Maybe there's something better, like I said, that you would actually do. So I feel like that's one answer. Number two is it really just a fear that you need to overcome? Again, you've gone through the underworld and you just need to overcome it. And again, you will not regret not taking no for an answer. I hope that makes sense. That was like a double negative, right? With the Six of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. Again, I feel like you're just kind of wondering, like, do I leave my job for this business? Which a lot of people are going through right now. Do I leave this career for another career? Do I leave my home state to go move to another state? I feel like the Page of Swords is exploring the answers, and card of curiosity. With the Ace of Wands, you have the World. Are you kidding me? Major accomplishment. Whatever this Ace of Wands is, the Ace of Wands is just something new. I always say the Ace of Wands is kind of like the initial spark of life, right? It is the roots going into the soil from a seed, basically. Here's your seed. I mean, your ass is sitting on it right here. So that big egg. And I feel that it's something that makes you happy. I really feel like this is saying, like, it's reading to me is like saying, I know as cliche as it sounds, it's like allow happiness to be your guide. I feel like happiness is guiding you towards something. Again, I always say with the Queen of Wands, it's like she really desires to do something, so she does it. If she doesn't desire to do something, she doesn't do it. With the High Priestess, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups twice. So again, I feel your imagination is going to be very powerful. Seven of Cups is like, sometimes I think there are mysteries that we can't ignore, especially when I get the combination High Priestess, Seven of Cups. Like, maybe we've always wanted to go to Antarctica. And it's like, if you don't scratch that itch, will you be able to live with yourself? That is the question I'm getting here. So it's like, I feel like there's an itch that needs to be scratched in your life. I literally got itchy when I said that. And I feel like you need to scratch the itch here because you will not be disappointed. Again, it could be in any area of your life. This reading is not focusing in on one thing or the other. With the Queen of Swords, Empress, there you go. Glow up vibes, total abundance, total success. So a lot of success coming in for you. Five of Cups, you have the, what is this? 10 of Wands. A lot of work. I think one of the biggest challenges right now, as far as the astrology is concerned, and I see this for a lot of people, is it's like, I feel a lot of us, have done a lot of work on something, and it's like, do I throw it away, right? It's like, maybe you put a lot of work into a relationship, but it's not satisfying, but you're also like, it's kind of like the sunk cost fallacy. When we invest a lot of energy, money, effort, whatever, love, into something, it's like, we kind of don't want to let it go because we've invested so much in it. And I do feel this reading, it's not saying to me, cut your losses. To me, that's a little bit different, but I do kind of feel you're cutting your losses, if that makes sense. It's like something, especially if there's something that's a burden, right? If there's something that's just stealing your energy, if there's something that's just taking too much time, I feel like there's something that's like a lot easier, a lot better. And, I feel like that's what you're moving towards. With the Temperance card, you have the Chariot, duality. Again, this whole entire top row is crazy. Like every single card except for the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups represents duality. Chariot, two Sphinxes, which represent mysteries facing in opposite directions. He doesn't really know where he's going, but he's allowing the universe to be his guide. So you could argue that he is allowing happiness, joy, enlightenment, those things to be his guide. Definitely victory coming in for you. Look at this. Some of you could be moving. World, Ace of Wands, Queen of Swords, Empress, Chariot, Temperance. This is a very successful new beginning. But again, I want to encourage you to give the wheel a little bit of grease. I feel like this is saying, just a little bit of tweaking. I want to say this was you. I'm not sure now, but it's like, I'm pretty sure in your 6-month reading, I said something like you're very close to success. And I feel like you don't realize like how big a tiny little change can be in your business. It reminds me, I was just reading a book, and I'm not going to remember what book it was or whatever, but I was reading a book about a guy who was talking about copywriting. If you don't know, I used to be a copywriter, and he was talking about how he had a sales page, sales letter that he had written, and it wasn't selling at all. And then he just changed the headline, one little thing, and he was getting sales left and right after he changed it. And I'm not saying this has to do with copywriting, although it might, because that popped into my head. But whatever, it's like sometimes I think we don't realize how the tiniest little shift, the tiniest little change in whatever it is we're trying to accomplish can make all the difference in the world, right? So it's kind of like scratching that itch, right? Exactly what I said. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Temperance card again. And again, like I said, I feel the itch that needs to be scratched is a tiny little change. You know, it's like maybe you're having a hard time in love. It's like maybe you're just going to the wrong places to meet people. Maybe you're choosing the wrong people. But it's like a tiny tweak here is all that needs to happen for things to fall into place. Same thing in business. Like I said, I feel like a tiny little change is all that needs to be made. Again, you have that community card. So maybe there are people who have an outside perspective of what's going on, and maybe they can kind of tell you. So don't be afraid. But I don't know. I still feel like you're just going to figure it out. Again, I would move towards happiness. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, again, there's a major significant transition going on here, so it doesn't really surprise me. Very simple reading, Libra. What I would say here is that I feel like your answer is very simple. Move towards your happiness. But I feel like your happiness might be, I'll just give you an example, right? Like I don't do love readings. And, when I started my channel, I started 7 years ago. There were people who outgrew me that started like years and years after I started, right? And so there was a time with this channel where I was like stuck at 40,000. And, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do love readings, but it doesn't make me happy. I don't care about love. I have a very cold, icy heart, right? And so I don't care. And it's not something that interests me. I'm not interested in reading about love. I'm not interested in Kim Kardashian, drama, any of that stuff, right? So I just don't care. And but I stuck with it. I kept going. I started making changes, and look, I'm like the only reader on YouTube now that like basically doesn't do love, that has over 100,000 subscribers. So not saying this to brag, I'm saying this because I figured it out. And I feel like there's a situation like that where it's like your heart wants something. Again, my heart doesn't want love. My heart wants to talk about law of attraction, creating your own reality, and other exciting things, business, which is what I talk about now, right? But I just had to figure it out. And that Temperance card, she's like mixing, the water back and forth. So I feel like something needs to be mixed here. Can we just get a final outcome? Damn, star, amazing. Wishes, wish fulfillment, putting your energy into the right things. She is pulling water from the pool of universal consciousness here, Libra, and she's pouring the water onto land. So not only is she able to fulfill herself, but she's able to fulfill the world as well. Extremely, extremely powerful. Middle row, Seven of Swords, lying, cheating, stealing. I would definitely say, be careful of people in your life. But Seven of Swords, again, funny enough, is about doing things differently. He is using tactics. He is stealing those swords from an army that's in the background there. So again, like I said, this whole entire reading is basically saying to scratch your itch, you just have to do things differently. Bottom row outcome, 3 wands. Everybody's had the 3 wands. Major expansive energy going on right now. But damn, Libra, I love this. This is a really good reading. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.